When you have your girls, you're never alone. You get together for coffee, maybe to work out, or just to laugh. We created Hey Girl, just for you. Can't wait for you to join us.
Hey girl,
Hey, girl.
back. We are here again for episode 9 of Hey
Yes.
Girl. We're moving right along. So glad to have
Yes,
everybody
we are.
today.
Yes, yes, and welcome, welcome. Well, if this is your first time tuning in with us, we just want to explain to you, hey girl, we want to make this a space, a safe place where you can share your experiences and be affirmed. Life can be so complex, especially with things going on now, and at times it can be overwhelming. And so we believe in the power of conversation. So knowing that you're not alone is really important and it helps you get through this. So welcome again to Hey Girl.
Definitely. It helps us to get through when we have our girlfriends with us. And
Yes, it
yeah,
does.
we are beginning a new series.
Hmm.
Last week we had our guest on, Lindsay. She was great. And
Yes,
the whole
powerful.
month, very powerful. The whole month we're talking about what I've learned. That's the theme.
Hmm.
And so each of our guests each week will be very different and be talking about different topics, but it's all under the umbrella of what they have learned because I believe
Hmm.
that we can learn from one another in various ways.
Absolutely.
So, you know, because of what we're talking about today, we can actually learn from anyone, and that includes our kids, right?
Right,
I
right,
mean, it has been
exactly.
a difficult time lately for our kids, with the coronavirus pandemic and
Yeah.
everything shut down. It's been tough on them as well, and they've had some
Hmm.
hard lessons to learn.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's been hard for the kids in my house, just the
Yeah.
adjustment of not going to see their friends,
Yeah.
and then just being home, and then trying at first doing homework, trying to stay on top of that, and me teleworking from home, the adjustment of that has been a bit overwhelming. But they have persevered and gotten through it. They've gotten through it. I think they're kind of used to it now, our new normal.
Like us, they had to adjust,
They
right?
had to adjust. Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
they missed their friends terribly.
Right, of course.
Mm.
And this is a
Mm-hmm.
particularly special season for certain of our children because they were
Yes.
looking forward to graduation. And so that has been a different kind of adjustment, not just being with
Mm-hmm.
them, but also everything shutting down that they were really
Yeah.
looking forward to being their senior year. So that's actually what we're talking about today. We're
Yes.
talking to our kids who are graduating and
Yes.
stages of their education and what this has been like for them, particularly as graduating seniors. So
Mm-hmm.
we know lots of young people out there who this has been a big year for them, and it was supposed to be a big year. But we
Yeah.
just a few sample stories from a few young people that we know in particular. One who is graduating from eighth grade, transitioning from middle school into high school, which is a big deal. And then we
Yes.
have one who is going from high school to college, of course, which is a
Mm-hmm.
big deal. And then we
Mm-hmm.
have one, Bria Gamble, who's going from college to life. And, you're
Wow.
graduating from undergrad. She's Miss Oakwood. She is a very smart girl. All of them
Yes,
are.
she is.
And so we asked them what this has been like for them in particular. And we're going to just take a
Right.
listen to what their experience has been, and then we'll introduce our guest for the day.
Okay. That sounds good.
Hi, my name is Eden. I'm 14 years old, and this year I was supposed to graduate from 8th grade. This coronavirus pandemic has affected my life in many different ways, but I would definitely say that I was most looking forward to graduating from 8th grade this year, like officially, and just getting that experience, but of course I wasn't able to have that. And the hardest part about all this was probably just hearing about all the horrible things on the news and people dying and all the things that are getting canceled and the things that we're not able to do now for our own health and safety. And it was just really hard to hear about the new change. I'm not really good with the change, so just hearing everything that was going on at one time and just realize then finding out that my graduation was canceled and that I was leaving school early. It was just Everything was just really overwhelming and it stressed me out at first, but I adjusted and I was soon able to get used to the new normal. But it was definitely hard at first, just adjusting to everything and just trying to find myself again.
I'm Ariana Brown, and I'm a class of 2020 graduating senior. What I was looking forward to the most out of this year, at the end of this year, were my thespian banquet and my creative writing cookout. They're two of the kind of send-offs for the seniors within my magnet and my thespian troupe. And creative writing and theater have always been the two most important things to me throughout my high school career. And so it was really disappointing not getting to participate in those and not getting to do the same things that I'd seen the seniors do several times before me. And the hardest part about the quarantine and coronavirus for me was coming to the realization that I wouldn't be having a normal graduation, and of course I wouldn't be able to go to the thespian banquet or the creative writing cookout or readers theater or my last play that I was supposed to perform. There were just several things that I was looking forward to that I wasn't able to do. So it was very disappointing, but I'm looking forward to the future, and I'm continuing to do the things that I can do.
Hi, my name is Bria Gamble. I recently graduated from Oakwood University where I studied biology. And what I can just say about my experience being a student who's had to now move to studying online and, just not being able to be on campus for the full year is I really felt that I missed out on those final, memories that I would have made and connections with my friends, because most of these people I'm probably not going to be able to see again ever, except if we may cross paths in my field or other things like that, but it just won't be the same. So it wasn't necessarily one major event or thing like that, but it was just more of that community and being able to have those last times to, just make good memories together. And I would just say about how this shutdown has affected me as a student. First, the biggest thing would definitely be financially. I lost both of the jobs that I had during the school year. And so I've had to kind of find ways to make money on the side or, find support from family and friends to pay for things like, for example, applying to medical school this summer. Been working to find the money to do that. So, thankfully things have been coming together. And I would just say another thing that has been affected because of the shutdown and also, of course, just from schools being closed is that I've had to basically teach myself when we were in classes, and I didn't realize just how challenging that would be. But the thing is that a lot of the teachers hadn't really been trained to teach online, and there was so much going on with them having to take care of their own families because things were shut down. And so, yeah, it was definitely a lonely period because I couldn't be around people who I normally would study with. They're all stressed, but then also you're having to teach yourself these upper division classes, and you kind of were just almost to that finish line. So you were already kind of a little tired after spring break. And so, yeah, that was just kind of what had been going through my mind and just how my experience because of the shutdown has been affected. Thank you.
Wow. I mean, you don't really realize those stories of all the seniors, whether it's eighth grade or whether it was a 12th grade senior or um, trans- transitioning from actually college into the real world. I mean, I could only think about when I graduated, how exciting I was. You waited all these years to walk down that aisle and get your diploma, and then it happened. So what we're going to do today is talk about those particular stories. And we have a special senior, high school senior that graduated this year. And I know her personally. She is my sweet niece. I would say, I always say she's my niece.
Yeah.
I've known her since she was born. I was there in the hospital with her, and she's our little sweet baby. She's our first baby in our little crew, we call it, our first baby. So she's going to talk to her about her experience during this whole coronavirus, and now the protests and all that's going on with the Black Lives Matter. How has it impacted her as a senior? So without further ado, we're going to bring on our sweet princess, Erin Roper. Hello, sweet Erin.
Hi.
Hi.
This is one of those rare occasions where our guest is right here with me.
I know. I love it. I
I
love
love it. Yes.
it.
She reluctantly agreed to join us today, which I don't
Thank
know
you.
why. She was giving me a hard time. But yeah, this has been interesting. A lot of adjustments.
Yes, I'm sure it has. I'm sure it has. So Erin, tell us about the highlights of high school, of your high school years up to this point. How's it been?
When I think
Before the
highlight
shutdown.
before the
Yeah,
shutdown,
yeah.
Yeah, before the shutdown.
right? Um, this year, my senior year, or all 4 years of high school, because there has been so much that we have done my 4 years of high school. I just remember specifically the things that stand out is when I was a freshman and sophomore, I was in the choir, and my instructor was Justin Jordan, and he was an amazing choir teacher. But
Yeah.
I really remember all of every experience I had with Mr. Jordan and the trips we went on. It was just so much fun, and it made my high school experience like so much more exciting than I. Not that I wasn't excited when I graduated from 8th grade, but like going on those choir trips and then engaging with the upperclassmen and stuff was
Right.
just so much fun to me. Junior year was also fun. I wasn't in choir as much, but I started getting into my college classes, so it was a little more serious, and I felt like I was maturing, getting older because I was in the next step of my life, going to do these
Right.
college classes and harder classes that I had to do.
So you're going to have to explain what you mean because you're graduating from high school.
True.
But you were taking college
So I
classes.
was doing dual enrollment.
Okay.
So I was taking a few classes at the high school, my main courses, and then I would take some extra classes at the college so that when I do go to college this coming fall, I will be ahead of the game and have those courses knocked out of the way.
So
That's
you were
awesome.
kind of getting a feel for what college
Right.
was going to be like. Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
And then
awesome.
this year, it started off great. First semester was pretty good. I was really looking forward to second semester because, of course, I'm looking forward to graduation, but that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Still waiting. Yeah, I think the highlights of my high school experience would probably have to be choir. That just really made my.
And ironically, that was freshman year.
Right.
Wow.
My lower classman year.
Mainly because of how this got interrupted, right?
Right.
But so you said first semester you were really gearing up for second semester of senior year. What in particular do you think you were looking forward to most in second semester?
Graduation.
Graduation. Not even the parties and the celebrations.
Those too. But I mean,
class trip.
All I remember is going into high school every year. The seniors would be like, "I can't wait to graduate. Can't wait to graduate." And I was like, "Man, I have 4 more years, 3 more years, two more years." And now I'm here, and I'm like, "Well, since I'm a senior, I mean, I'm excited to graduate too."
Yes. That time goes by so fast, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It just went by.
Oh my goodness. I know it went by fast for me anyway. I don't know about you.
It did. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
So all the build up for the letdown, basically.
Yeah. Build up for the letdown. Oh wow. Wow. So what do you look forward to most as your senior year come closer? As it came closer, I guess I would say.
Oh, in the past.
What did you look forward?
Yeah.
What did you look forward to?
Graduation, I'm trying to think. We left in March, so I think I don't even know. Besides graduation, the only thing I could think of really is like the title of being a senior, getting senior privileges. Having finals a little earlier, getting let out of school earlier before the other high schoolers. Just little things like that. I wasn't anything made. We got a lot of the extracurricular things out of the way. So like there were some school trips that I went on, and it was first semester.
But I think the main thing, class trip. That was the other thing. Class
Class
trip, I
trip.
was definitely looking forward to.
Yeah. And
Um,
where were y'all going to? Where were y'all planning to go?
we were gonna go to Florida. We were going to
Okay.
Disney World, and I've been there before, but like it's your senior year, you're going with your class,
Yeah.
kind of like hurrah before everybody goes their separate ways,
Mhm.
and I didn't have that. So I think class trip and graduation, and then the senior privileges that we get, just the title of being a senior is just, I love that. So
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Big dog on campus.
yeah.
So, so let's talk about the lead up to the letdown, right? So we were starting to hear things in the news, and you kind of started getting a hint that things were about to happen. What was your thinking when that was going on? I'm sure you didn't imagine that it would be like this.
Oh, mercy.
So, what did you think would actually happen?
So honestly, I remember that week before we left, everybody was talking about this virus, that the coronavirus was on its way, basically. And I just remember they were like, "Oh, we're gonna push your spring break." So a little, did they moved it forward?
They let y'all out for spring break like a week early, I think. Yeah.
So they moved it, and then I was like, and they were like, we're just gonna like give you guys like 2 weeks maybe just to see how this virus is gonna go, whatever. I was excited because I love staying home, not going to school. I was like, okay, 2 weeks at home,
That's
for
good.
it. So I didn't have any, I didn't even think about, I mean, I thought about the coronavirus, but I wasn't like thinking that it was gonna affect my senior year like it had. So I was just excited that I was getting extra time to be at home and away from school and work. So yeah, I didn't think anything of it for real until we finally, like when I was actually at home, and then we would start watching the news, and then I saw school shutting down, and then I was like, oh, and then somebody said it got to Alabama, then somebody said it got to Huntsville, and I was like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
It
So
went
this is a little more serious.
yeah, it was, I think it was like everyone else. It went from, oh, it's far away, and now it's like, oh, it's in the United States. Oh,
Exactly.
it's in Tennessee. Oh, it's in Alabama.
Exactly.
It seemed like every day.
It all happened like within a week, seemed like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what were your friends saying? What were your friends saying through all this?
No, were they tripping?
So I also remember the week before we left, we were joking about it. Like we were like, oh yeah, you heard about the corona. We thought of it as, remember the Ebola thing that happened a few years ago?
Yeah.
Only, it wasn't even in the United States, was it? I don't even remember. But I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be like the Ebola case that was a few years ago. We were joking about it. It's like, I remember like a few weeks before we left, I like had a cold, and they were like, "Oh, girl, you got corona," that type thing. But we were just joking about it or whatever. And then after we got, we went home or whatever, I remember texting them, and they were like, "Y'all, this is serious." Like we were joking about it, but and then I feel like they were kind of, I think they were the same as me. They were just excited to be on break, but they were nervous about what was going on. We just weren't sure, honestly. We were just waiting around to see what would happen next.
What happened?
We really didn't have
so
about it.
Right. And so, as a young adult, you guys really had the same kind of reaction to this whole thing as adults. We experienced the same thing. At first it was like, ha ha ha, it's not gonna enter, come this way. And then it was like, okay, it is here. And every cough, I know for me, I would cough like, oh goodness, is that Rona? Is she here? Is it me? So that whole thing just split like in a matter of a day or two, seemed like to me. So what did your friends like? How did they react once it was here? I mean, and you reacted. How did that affect you guys?
Some were more extreme than others.
Yeah.
Extreme.
I think. Oh, I remember. So I think the first week of spring break, Corona break, whatever you want to call it, we. I remember they were shutting down.
It was a break.
Right. I remember they were shutting down the university, and so we were like, that's when we knew it was serious. When they started shutting down the university, and then all of our college friends were like, "I'm going home." We were like, "Oh my goodness!" So I remember, like, I think the first day of break, me and a couple of my friends went out and we stocked up on snacks because we heard about all this stuff, and we were like, if we're gonna be in the house for days, I'm stocking up on snacks. And there were like sales and stuff. We were like, So we went to the store and we stocked. When I'm telling you, like, there were so many bags of stuff. We were nervous. We just didn't know what was happening. We just heard that we were going to be quarantined. We were like, okay, so I need to, prepare myself. So
right, must have chips.
Exactly.
Yes.
I remember we did that, and we were like, afterwards, we were like, all right, we're set. We'll be good for, a good 2 weeks. And then, that turned into 4 months. So.
Yeah, we've had a few more trips to get more snacks since then.
Yeah. They lasted a while, though. So.
Yeah, and that was a strange thing. No one knew that it would last this long. I mean, like you guys, come back from spring break, go to spring break, and then, it'll be out maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. But never would I thought it would have been 4 months. I mean, I almost lost track of it. It's been so long.
Right.
So,
yeah. So talk about how you spent your time. Once you I already know the first week or so it was just sleeping in and enjoying basically.
Right.
After, like we've said, after a couple of weeks when you realize, okay, this is not changing, you had to kind of find ways to spend your time aside from schoolwork. Of course, there was still that once break was over, but
we actually didn't get work until later because they were trying to adjust. So we did have like a 2 weeks where we could just, chill basically. Of course, I was waking up late, waking up at my usual time, 1 p.m. And
one. That's half the day, Aaron. It's
yeah, I know.
Well, when you don't go to bed until 2 in the morning, it all kind of pans out.
Let's see. I remember, I think one of our trips to get some more snacks from Walmart, me and my sister passed by the art section, and I was like, Eden, what if we started doing some painting? And she was like, oh
yeah.
Something they never do now that they're busy. They used to love to draw and stuff when they were younger, but
I like that type of stuff, but I just never have time. I have too much stuff to do. So this is the perfect time to go back to what I love doing and kind of perfect it, clean it up. I'm not going anywhere,
Right.
So I remember we got a whole bunch of paint, we got the brushes, we got paper, and we were like, okay, so we're just gonna do something with this. And my first few paintings were, a little iffy, but they
before she shows that, can I just say also that when we were at the store, my husband was like, why are you gonna buy that stuff for them? Like the actual canvas, the actual paint.
They're not gonna use it.
I'm gonna use that. I'm not gonna do anything with that. So we can prove Daddy wrong.
Yeah. When you are bored and have nothing else to do, you learn how to be creative.
Very creative. So she has some of her pieces that she did.
This one.
I love that. Look at you.
I know.
I was drawing canvas artist here.
I know. And I started, I'm into hair and beauty, so I started doing hair.
I know. I was like,
did you trace that? What in the world? That
it took time. Thank you.
Yeah, I asked her the same thing. I was like, where'd you trace that from? She was like, I did it.
YouTube is amazing. Let me tell you.
Wow.
I literally draw African American hairstyles, and then just followed what she was saying. So
and they turned out
beautifully. So then I had this whole black gold.
Cute,
right?
Oh, I love that.
Just a little preview, guys. You will probably see these images again. I think Hey Girl may adopt them for some of our logos or
absolutely.
Images. I was really happy with what
I think this is my most recent one with the times we're in. I need to finish.
Oh, yes. I love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put green at the bottom, but yeah. Right. So I just being really artistic. Trying to figure out how to paint, how to learn how to draw a little better. Yes. And also, like I said, I'm into hair and beauty, so I started experimenting with my makeup. And I don't wear heavy makeup, I don't do the whole foundation, concealer, but I really focus on my eyes. So I have this new eyeshadow palette, really expensive, and I do creative colors and combine a whole bunch of stuff. But then during quarantine, I was like, a lot of people have been not only doing it on their eyes, but on their face. So I've done clouds on my face,
very nice.
Here, sunset type thing. I've also done half of my face, fire, and the other eyes. So difficult, but it was I'm just experimenting with different stuff.
Experimenting
out of the house, but I've just been experimenting. Since I've been doing it on paper, I was like, let me just try to do it on my face. You know what I'm saying? I think I did butterfly look as well on my eyes. I think that was my favorite. That was difficult as well, but
very pretty.
I
That's
told her I don't know
amazing.
where this has come. I mean, literally this. I mean, I always knew she was creative, but it just has blossomed in a way that I never could have expected. During this time.
Yeah.
And
which shows you, though, during this time, any other time you wouldn't have time. You're hustling and bustling during the week, even during the weekend. You just still, to me, you're still going or trying to do homework, finish or whatever. So this time, I heard someone say, if you haven't done or learned a new skill or did something different or learned something new about yourself during this period, then you missed this whole thing. So this is beautiful for you to actually find something, and that you're actually good at. I mean, this could be a new love, for you. Drawing, yeah. And we did the same, and we did the same thing at our house. I mean, the kids really enjoyed it. I went and bought all that stuff for them, and they love it. They love it. Try something new.
Right. It's wonderful that we can find, something positive to come out of, what.
And
was
I find
really
it so
difficult.
peaceful. Like, I mean, like I get stressed about homework, and I'm like, let me just go paint, and then I'm just in this mode, and it makes me feel so much better. So I'm like, man,
it takes you. It takes your brain off of it, off of everything, and just focus on your drawing. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And the good thing is too, you can, as a side thing for college with your hair, doing your hair. Hey, that's some good money as a college student.
You're right. I did do these last night, so
yes.
So you mentioned that.
So you spent your time. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Kim.
No. I'll let you finish.
Okay. So at what point did you start to think that this might be it for the year for you?
I think definitely when, you know what? I think it was when Mom came home and she was like, her job closed down. But when my dad came home, I said, oh yeah. Because, the Redstone Arsenal takes them a while,
when they shut down, absolutely.
I was like, oh, okay. And then also on the news, I saw different schools shutting down. And then I would get like text messages from my other friends that go to other schools. They're like, and I was like, oh, this is real serious. Like, this is
serious.
Yeah. So,
well, that was going to be my question, because you mentioned that your drawing really helped you when you felt stressed. And so I imagine I know what the emotions were like for us as adults when all of that was starting to happen. How were you emotionally as that began to happen, as the realization of the new norm was starting to set in?
I really just didn't want to think about it. I remember people always asking me, how are you feeling? I know your senior year is being ripped away from you. But I'm always trying to look at the positive side of things. And I was like, oh, well, they haven't canceled graduation yet, so we're good. It's May 24th.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay. I'm just painting, that's gives me, that relieves my stress or whatever. Or,
right.
Just little things like that. And I didn't think it was going to go on this long. So I was like, by May, we'll be good. And I was just waiting for them to move graduation because they hadn't moved it yet. I was like, okay, so maybe there's some hope. And so emotionally, I was just kind of trying to look at it positively. I remember Eden, my sister, was really down, and she was like, why aren't you upset? Like, you're graduating from high school, you're bigger than me. And I was just like, yeah, but I mean, maybe this will all blow over. And it didn't. And as time went on, I realized, I was like, it's always good to look at the positive side, but I was telling my parents the other day, like, sometimes you do have to, like, be sad, you can't be happy all the time.
Go through those emotions.
Right. So I remember it hit me, I think it was when they moved graduation, when they moved it to July, I was like, wow. So this is for real. Like, it just really sunk in. And I remember I was sad. I was really quiet. Just thinking about, I remember I like to look at pictures from deals from my past. I was like looking at my whole senior year from August when we left. And I was just like, it's over,
Yeah. I was those videos. Some other seniors were posting things on social media of their of their school year as well. And I was like, there was one night, I think I was watching one, I just started getting really, really sad. Yeah, I think you sent it to me. Oh, my poor baby.
Yeah, I actually made a video with all my friends from senior year, and I was like, it's over, guys, that type of thing. There was like a message behind it, and it was like our senior year ripped away from us. So
I know. And truly, it was like ripped away. I mean, never in a million years what I thought.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I know, like, Friday, I went and picked up the kids' yearbooks. They distribute them. And I thought, wow, you guys are going to have, your friends to sign your yearbooks, simple things like that you don't think about.
Yeah.
It's been ripped away. It's been ripped away from you. So yeah, that's so how did you, like, with your sister, how did you comfort her, and has she changed her mindset since her graduation was moved? I'm assuming it was moved as well to July. I mean, how is she doing with this too?
I remember as soon as everything started hitting, Eden's very emotional, so she was it hit her hard, and I was just like, Eden, it's okay, they haven't moved anything yet. Just maybe it'll be done by May. The same pep talk I was giving to myself, I was giving to her, and I was like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. But she wasn't really she just didn't see it how I did. And then when it was actually real, I was like, I think by the time it hit me, she was like, it kind of like sunk in for her. She was like, yeah, it's real, Aaron. Like, remember, I was being positive all this time, and she was sad. So then once I was sad, she was like, Aaron,
she's already dealt with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I told her, I remember telling her and telling myself to just do other things to get our minds off of it. I hate watching the news. I just see all the virus numbers going up, and I'm just like,
depressing. It could be overwhelming at times.
Right. So I would do everything with her, or like painting. We do TikToks, of course. So just getting our minds off of our minds off of it, so we don't think about how our school year was taken
That's
away.
what we should have cut in with some of y'all's TikToks.
The
blessing,
right.
The blessing is that they get along, and I'm thankful for that. And they have similar interests, so I think they've been able to support one another.
Through this whole thing.
8th grade, Aaron's graduating, so they kind of are sharing in that loss of their year. So
yeah. So what have you learned? What have you learned through this whole thing, this process? I mean, and not only with Corona, but also with everything that's going on. What have you learned these last 4 months for you?
Like I said, look at the positive side of things, but also don't neglect the sadness that you feel, because you don't want to always hide your sadness with joy, positivity, because sometimes you're going to have to, feel sad or whatever. But I think the big thing is just be ready for anything. I'm not going to look forward to anything. I mean, not that I'm not going to look forward to it, but I'm just not going to have high expectations anymore, because I just don't know what could happen. I'm going to have to just go with the flow. So when an exciting event is planned ahead of time, I'm just going to be like, okay, well, this is exciting, but something could always, get in the way, and I just don't want to get excited about anything anymore, because it's a toll on my.
I know. But still get excited. This is just unusual. This whole thing is unusual, but do still get excited. Don't let this thing happen that you're like, well, I'm not going to get excited about anything anymore because of the expectation that something may bad happen. I think though, the reason why all this happened. I think God was just saying, you know what? I'm going to slow everybody down so they can focus on what's important. I mean, you have to look at the bright side of things. A lot of people won't get that. But I truly believe in my heart that was what he did, for us to bring out other things that are important, or bring out other things that we may like painting and relationships, building relationships, or whatever, So yeah, look at it as a positive thing. And I know you do.
Yeah, and I think if nothing else, I think what we've learned from this conversation is that, you have to experience the feelings and emotions. Don't ignore
Yes.
them.
Mm-mm.
Experience the sadness, acknowledge the pain,
Mm-hmm.
but then also look at what good came out of the bad situation.
Absolutely.
So I think it's both and, not
Yeah.
It
either
is.
or.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not either or. Yeah, it's both,
Yeah.
both and.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Thank you for being here with us today,
Course.
love.
Thank you,
This has
thank
been
you.
fun.
Yeah, I always wanted to know how it was for the seniors, and
Yeah.
my heart just goes out to you guys. I mean, it's such a big accomplishment. But you just have to turn a bad situation into something good. I had participated in a cousin that was graduating from college, and we had a virtual graduation for her. I mean, it was like about 20 something people on that call with close friends and family. People just got creative, so get
That's
creative.
exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, get creative, change the game, and still make it memorable. This is
Yeah.
one thing. 20 years from now, you will never, ever forget this moment.
Right. Right. It will be memorable regardless of what
It
happens.
will be memorable. So yeah. So thank you so much, Erin, for coming and sharing your stories and your friends also. And I know
Yeah.
you're going to be successful. I can't wait to see what you will be, and I know you will be successful. And you got our back, girl. So
That's
so
right.
proud of you,
Thank
and
you.
Yes,
Eden as well.
right. And shout out to Ariana and Bria who shared their experiences also.
Absolutely.
Brilliant young ladies who are going to do wonderful things. We just know
Hmm.
it. And all of you seniors, 2020 grads, our hearts are with you, our minds and thoughts are with you. But just remember the lesson, feel the pain, but learn the lesson,
Yes.
benefit from the positive things that came out of it, and make it a great year in spite of everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think it's time for us to move to our scripture. We do
Yes.
have a word from the Lord on this.
Yes.
Bible is relevant to all situations.
Absolutely.
And so, Kim, I'm going to change it up today. I'm going to read two and let you read two. Let's see, how many
That
do we
sounds
have?
good to me. I think we have
Yeah.
five.
Okay.
Do we have
Well,
five?
actually, okay, yeah. So I'll read
Yeah.
two, you read two, and then I don't know.
You want me to
That
read it?
sounds good.
Yeah, then you can read the last
There
one.
you
How about
go.
that?
There you go.
Here we go. Job 17, 10 through 12 says, "My days have passed, my plans are shattered, yet the desires of my heart turn night into day. In the face of the darkness, light is near." So that's from Job. And he was going through something,
Yes.
but he, even in the midst of his pain, said that there's still light. Proverbs 16:3, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans."
All right. And Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future."
Hmm.
And Proverbs, our next one, Proverbs 19:21 says, Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." Amen.
I like Jeremiah 29:11 because that was our senior memory verse
Oh,
for
I know
Bible.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Psalm 24. May he give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed.
That's God's wish for
Yes.
you and
I
our
love
wish
it.
for
Yes,
you. Right.
definitely.
Well, that's it for our show today. Thank you for being with us. We hope that you were encouraged and perhaps learned a lesson today as well. And we have more good shows planned for the coming weeks. Let's see. Next week, we have our friend Gilda who will be with us.
Yes.
So excited about that. She's going to be
Yes.
talking about her experiences and things that she's learned. She is a woman and a pastor. She's in ministry and she's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So that's going to be great.
Yes. Great
And then, of course,
conversation.
yeah. And then at the end of the month, we have Renee Fentress Stevenson, who is going to talk about finding Mr. Right. And I know there's some ladies out there that want to tune in for that one. All right. Well, we're going to end it there. Kim Jacobs, another episode in the bag.
Yes, it is.
I
Another one.
will see you again next week. And remember, we're your girls. I'm Kim with
Yes.
an E.
And I'm Kim with an I.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Hey girl, thanks for joining us for this very important conversation. We hope you'll come back next week. All this month, our theme is What I've Learned. And if you want to learn something, be sure to join us.